After months of anticipation, the long-awaited Marilyn Monroe biopic Blonde was recently released on Netflix, and as expected, the film is facing major criticism for a variety of reasons. Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video, we'll be talking about all the controversy surrounding Ana de Armas' new Netflix film Blonde, and why the NC-17 drama is getting slammed by the audience. Stay tuned to find out which Blonde scene was out of line. The hype around Blonde. Directed by Andrew Dominik and starring Ana de Armas in the lead role, Blonde was released on Netflix on 28th of September. It's based on Joyce Carol Oates' best-selling book of the same name, which centers around the inner life of Marilyn Monroe, including her rise to stardom, her personal and professional relationships, as well as the tragedies endured by the unforgettable Hollywood icon. Apart from Ana de Armas, who brilliantly portrays Marilyn, Blonde also has a compelling supporting cast that includes 2 Emmy winners, namely Bobby Cannavale and Julian Nicholson, as well as Academy Award-winning actor Adrien Brody. While announcing the film, Netflix revealed that Blonde is the streaming giant's first ever original film to receive an NC-17 rating. Moreover, the film was reportedly in development for almost a decade, which further added to the hype. Pre-release controversy. Before we get into the highly questionable scenes from Blonde, let's quickly talk about why the film became controversial before its release. Before Blonde was filmed, Andrew Dominik said that he considers the biopic to be one of the 10 best movies ever made. But in early 2022, the director made certain comments that were considered problematic, which in turn dragged the film into a negative limelight. Dominik sat down for an interview with Vulture, during which he claimed that his upcoming film is releasing at the right time, or as he described it, a time when people are really uncertain about where any lines are. It's a film that definitely has a morality about it. The director also hinted at what viewers could expect from his upcoming film and how it stands out from other Marilyn Monroe biopics. The idea behind Blonde is basically it details a childhood drama and mistaken ideas that she carries into her adult life, and she sees the world through the lens of those ideas, he explained. On a simplest level, it's about an unwanted child who becomes the most wanted person in the world and can't deal with all of that desire coming at them. While these details did tell viewers a bit about the film, most people weren't too pleased with the way Dominik addressed Blonde's NC-17 rating. He said that viewers would prefer the adult-only version of the Marilyn Monroe story, because we know that her life was on the edge clearly from the way it ended. Speaking about the controversial nature of Blonde, it swims in very ambiguous waters because I don't want it to be as cut and dried as people want to see it. There's something in it to offend everyone, and now, shortly after the film's release, it's safe to say that Blonde did offend a massive majority of viewers, perhaps even a bit too much. Slammed by viewers and critics. Since its release, Blonde has been facing a ton of backlash, with viewers and critics calling it cruel and one of the most detestable movies ever made. The Washington Post, for instance, reviewed Blonde as a breathtakingly misguided adaptation of the 2000 novel before saying that it re-objectifies Marilyn Monroe. Meanwhile, the New York Times wrote, given all the indignities and horrors that Marilyn Monroe endured during her 36 years, it's a relief that she didn't have to suffer through the vulgarities of Blonde, the latest necrophiliac entertainment to exploit her. Critics from the LA Times addressed how the film's director-creator failed to pay Marilyn Monroe an actual tribute. Because Dominik can't conceive of Monroe as anything but a victim, he can't even grant her the respect of seeing her as, at the very least, a participant in her success and her undoing. Another film critic said, Netflix's Blonde turns Marilyn Monroe into an avatar of suffering, dwelling on her pain so obsessively that even the film's fleeting moments of empathy feel like another form of exploitation. Social media users have been equally outraged about the film, especially on Twitter. One user said that Blonde was only produced to put Marilyn in a box that only allows her to be mistreated and exploited, adding, maybe we stop letting misogynistic men try to make groundbreaking films about women of which they know nothing about. Another user called Blonde a self-indulgent act of cruelty by a deeply incurious filmmaker. One viewer even said, Blonde has to be one of the most disrespectful, distasteful, fabricated biopics I've ever seen. One of the most criticized scenes from The Blonde explicitly shows Marilyn with JFK, which viewers have labeled as horrifying, degrading, and insane. Another scene that was slammed by viewers involved a talking CGI fetus during Marilyn Monroe's fictionalized abortion. According to most social media users, the scene was inappropriate and had an anti-abortion message. It's safe to say Blonde had several scenes that went too far, but despite the tremendous backlash, Ana de Armas has defended her film and ensured fans that none of the scenes were unsafe for her to film. The Cuban actress, whose performance was heavily praised, recently said that she didn't feel exploited and was in a safe environment. It's harder for people to watch those scenes than for me to make them because I understand what I was doing and I felt very protected and safe, Ana said. And that about brings this video to a close. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Also, ring the bell icon to stay notified of our latest videos. See you guys next time!